Happy Wednesday. How's everybody doing today? Thank you for joining us. I'm Laura Torres with Careers, Senior Manager of Workforce Development here at Blue Star Families. And we're here to talk about some great opportunities with a great partner here for the Utah chapter, but also overall for the Blue Star Families. And we're here with the Careers team, from the Discover team, who is now part of our Careers team. And they're here to talk to us about finding your next opportunity with them. But I also want to acknowledge we're here being uh, joined by my co-host, the Utah Chapter Director, Emily Anderson. Emily, how are you doing today?
Good morning, Laura. Thank you so much. Emily Harrison, the Chapter Director for Blue Star Families Utah. We're just really excited because this is our first careers event that we've done here in Utah. And I'm just really glad that it could be with our friends and partners at Discover. They've been amazing partners to us here at the Utah chapter, been very supportive with financially and then with volunteer support. And I've done several events with them, have the opportunity to go out to the Discover site at Lake Park and kind of mingle with their employees and participate in some volunteer events. So I'm just really excited that we're able to bring this to our Blue Star Families community here in Utah.
Absolutely, thank you. And we're very excited about, again, their ongoing support for our community, and especially now with careers to be able to bring these great opportunities to our community. And so without further ado, I'm going to acknowledge all of their team, but I'm going to start with Michelle Hayes, who is one of their corporate recruiters as well as the talent acquisition. And she's overall an amazing individual point of contact for you to be part of with Discover. So Michelle?
Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I'm doing well. What about yourself? Thank you.
Thank you.
And so, yes, I'm excited to be here as well. My name is Michelle Hayes. I work out of our Utah office, Lake Park. I've been with the company for, it'll be 4 years in July. And I actually started out as a temporary employee and then kind of worked my way up from there. So one of the things I love is about Discover is the work-life balance. And so I'm excited that we get to be here and talk to you all about it.
Great. And I love that. And again, this is more discussion later on into our careers segment, but keep an open mind right there, audience, because temporary employees sometimes lead to great opportunities and you can secure a great permanent position. So keep your thoughts right there. So Michelle, who else do we have here with us today?
And next we have Leanne. You can go next.
Hi there. I'm Leanne Kozlowski, a recruiter here in our Phoenix office. I'm super excited to be able to talk to you guys today about the opportunities that we have here at Discover. I myself have been with the organization for 17 years, started part-time entry level on the phones, worked my way up through leadership and managed for many years in our credit card side. So lots of career growth opportunities that we'll kind of touch on a little bit later, but just super excited to work with you guys today.
Great, that's exciting, and I love that because Leanne, one of the things that I always love to encourage our military spouse community is just get your way in, get yourself into an organization that has potential for growth. And I love that you've been able to 17 years. That's a lot. That's a work history right there. So I love to be able to later converse about your multiple trajectories within Discover. So that's a great example of a great culture to be part of it. And who else do we have with you, Leanne?
Thank you. I'd like to pass it on to my colleague, Ryan Wakeman.
Yeah, hi guys, I'm Ryan Wakeman and I've worked at the Lake Park office in Utah as well for 16 years now. Throughout those 16 years, I've done a lot of different jobs and have had the opportunity to learn a lot of different things. And I think that, probably is my favorite part of Discover. Just in our office in Utah, there's about 4,000 employees. And so that's just a lot of different jobs that need to be done. And it provides a lot of opportunity for our employees. So I'm also very excited to help out here as well.
Thank you, Ryan. And I love it. So now you guys, there's two of you who have been here a long time, and of course, Michelle too, but you guys have already hit that 15-year mark. So I love that there's a great trajectory there, solidity with work stability within their organization. So I'd love to definitely hear more about your organization. And then who else do we have in our team today, Ryan?
We have Matt Lovato. I'll introduce him, who's one of the managers here at Discover.
So we'll keep this theme going. Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah.
I think that is a thing. We've all been here a really long time, and we've chosen to stay. 5 days ago was my 24th year with Discover Years. So there you go. We love working at Discover, and we advocate for it all the time because we've chosen it for so many years. But excited to be involved in this process and see who we can bring on with the family.
That's exciting. Wow, 25 years. That's definitely a whole lifetime, and great example of work culture and a company culture and a great, you obviously have enjoyed working there because you stayed so long. So that's amazing. I really would love to be able to hear more about the great opportunities. And then Matt, else do we have in our team today?
So one last one I'll pass you to is Leanna Griffin. She also has been with the company for quite some time.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. So my 21-year anniversary was also this past week. So yes, 21 years at Discover. And I started out like a lot of people. I started out on the phones and worked my way up. And 21 years later, I don't know that I would really remember a time not being part of the Discover family. And that's been a great time in my life. So I appreciate it very much. So really excited to partner, being an Air Force kid. I'm really excited to partner with Blue Star so that we can bring more people into the Discover family from our military families.
Great, thank you. And by the way, Leanna, congratulations. And we'd like to acknowledge you and send you virtual hugs for a month of the military child. So this is the month to celebrate. So I encourage your colleagues to virtual hugs or whatever you do with the celebrate Leanna because she is a military child. So without further ado, let's just dive into fully into what does Discover have to offer for a military spouse community or veteran community. But most importantly, how can we get into this organization? So Michelle, if you can walk us into the process, that would be great.
Yeah, Leanne here. I'm actually going to go ahead and kick us off with some of the hiring process. As you can see on the screen here, we just wanted to provide a little bit of information of what it looks like. And during today's presentation, we'll talk about the hiring process. We have a snippet of our career page, what that looks like. Michelle and Ryan will also jump in and talk about some of the positions that we are currently hiring in. And then at the end here, we'll kind of touch on some of the benefits of becoming a permanent employee with Discover. And then, of course, we'll talk a little bit more about some of the ERG benefits and details around that as well. For those first slide here, the hiring process, pretty simple. You can visit our website, discover.com, which will allow you to submit your application or at least view all the positions that you're wanting to explore, specifically in customer service and our banking and lending teams, which you'll see in a few slides. But then after you've submitted your application, it's a super easy process. You're then going to the recruiters will then review all qualified applicants, and we'll work closely specifically with the Blue Star families to keep a running list and keep an eye out for those that are applying to these positions so that we can stay connected. And then we go through a hiring process, which will be 2 interviews. One will be a phone interview in which we'll then ultimately potentially lead to a virtual interview that would be face-to-face through WebEx. So just a new way of working, especially through this pandemic. And we've found some unique ways of staying connected and being able to engage with our future employees, such as you guys. And then, there's an onboarding process. If we choose to move forward with your application, there's a start to finish process with a coordinator that will get you all cleared through our background and fingerprints so that you're successfully ready to begin with us on day 1. This includes now with working from home, we'll actually send out equipment to you, and that's a process, again, that will be handled through our coordinator. Within our hiring process, we always provide great tips and tools within our job site page. And I've added a few details here, just some tips on, writing a resume to help you stand out. There's also a hyperlink here for interview tips. Again, we'll send this deck out that'll link you right to it. These different links here will then kind of link you, direct you to our career page. So if we want to check out the next page here, there's a lot of useful information within this page. Not only can you view all of the positions that are available that we're currently hiring for both Phoenix and Lake Park, but there's some great tools at that top bar there that allow you to explore some of those writing tips, interview tips, and the overall hiring process. So super user-friendly hiring page. And again, this is where you're going to be able to find all of the positions that we're hiring for. And I know that we've talked about the different positions that we will hire for, and I know that we'll be working closely to provide what those positions are specifically, so that with Matt's department and the other departments that we're hiring in, again, staying connected so that we can view specifically those working with the Blue Star families. So that's kind of just a high overview of what the process looks like, what you can expect when utilizing our career page. And then from there, when you start exploring those different positions, I'm going to hand it over to Michelle here to kind of talk about some of the positions that are coming up in the next quarter here.
All right, well, thank you, Leanne. Okay, so we do have quite a few positions in our bank coming up, and this is mainly just going to be through May and June. We hire consistently throughout the year, and so I'll say another one of our tips for resumes is have your most recent work history at the top. That will help us recruiters. That's one of the things I look for sure. But so as you can see, we have what's called Discover Bank deposits, Discover Bank student loans peak, and personal loans. When you see that flex to full time for the student loans, basically in the summer, so we have start dates for our front office, which basically means that it's going to be that customer facing. So you're taking inbound calls, being able to help students and parents sign up for their loans. The back office means that you're more going to do the office administrative type of work. And as you see, we have dates for those. While you're working these positions in the summer, it will be a flex schedule. So that means 30 to 39. However, once you are done with the summer season part of it, it can bump up to that 40 hours full time. Deposits full-time, personal loans full-time. Basically deposits, I can go to the next slide. Maybe. Okay, there we go. Not sure if you guys can see all
we
of
can see that.
Okay,
Banking and
perfect.
lending.
Awesome. So with deposits, what you'll do is handle those complex customer service inquiries. At a high level, it's inbound customer service, helping customers with their bank accounts, deposits, money markets, CDs. Student loans, we've kind of talked about the difference between the two. And then personal loans is communicating with customers on their loan acquisition calls and helping them complete it. A lot of it is going to be, which I'm sure Ryan will talk about as well, within computer work, having to troubleshoot your systems, but definitely having that customer focus of quality, taking care of their needs. So that is a little bit about the bank.
These are great opportunities. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, like you mentioned with Phoenix and Utah, those dates are inclusive of both of those. So.
Yeah, and I wanted to just add my 2 cents here for those of you who are watching and who are just looking at getting all excited just like me. If in Utah, you know where to look up for jobs, definitely look up Discover, but definitely go online. And I used the website and I went in there and I explored. And it's just like Leanne said, it's very user friendly. It's very user friendly. It allows you to really navigate your search very well. But I would probably go the extra step and encourage you to create a profile, and then maybe just create a profile, get your info in there, and set up job alerts, set up alerts so that you get notified when the next opportunities are. At least I love to do that so that I stay active, and aware of what's coming ahead. So that's one of my just 2 cents out here, Michelle. Is that okay to encourage individuals to do that?
Yes, of course. Yep. And you'll have to apply or get your application in the system at some point. So the sooner you can do it, the better, actually. And you'll be able to see all of the different positions on our careers page. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, of course, if you do happen to apply, and those of you, because this is a great partnership here through our Utah community and Arizona, as well as overall Blue Star families. But if you happen to need assistance directly from Blue Star Careers, from ourselves, just reach out and let us know, alert us, and we definitely will send a referral. We'll send your name. We'll send a list of those who have applied so that their team knows that you come from Blue Star families. So go ahead, Michelle.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I'm going to kick it off to Ryan, who'll be able to talk about one of our departments as well.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Michelle. So in addition to hiring for several positions in our bank that Michelle talked about, we also are hiring multiple positions in our customer service and engagement department, which is helping out our credit card customers specifically. So with the position that Michelle was talking about in deposits, that's helping customers out with their checking and savings accounts, where the customer service and engagement department specifically helps our credit card customers. And so we're hiring for both full-time customer service representatives and part-time representatives over the coming months. We have multiple positions, as you can see on the slide there. And if we can switch to the next slide, I'll kind of talk a little bit about what those positions consist of. So when we're looking at the full-time position, the job responsibilities and requirements are really similar to that of the job that Michelle described. The big difference is that instead of helping the customers with their banking and deposits accounts, you would be helping them with their credit card accounts. So you'd be handling a myriad of different customer service inquiries or problems that they could be having with their credit card. It is a really fast-paced environment. You could be helping 100 plus customers per day utilizing multiple systems. And looking at that last bullet point, right, brings empathy to customer inquiries. That's one of the biggest things is that it's so important for our employees to be understanding and empathetic to our customers and their situations, and that's what really makes a successful employee within that role. If we look at the part-time position, the part-time position is about 20 to 29 hours per week, with the average being closer to the 29-hour mark. And within that position, you're helping customers with a little bit smaller of a scope of inquiries. You're primarily supporting them with balance transfer requests. If they have received offers to process balance transfers, we would be helping them out with that, and then also helping them to process payments to their Discover credit cards. With the part-time position, the goal isn't that you would be, in this part-time position forever. The goal would be that within, anywhere from maybe 6 to 12 months, you're doing a great job in the role, you love the role, and we would want to move you into a full-time position, which at that point you would receive benefits and a higher base pay, et cetera. So, and if you can recall back to that last slide, we're hiring for tons of these positions in the coming months.
That's wonderful. This is a great opportunity for military spouses, especially those that have a little bit, especially right now, we're still trying to balance our schedule, virtual home set up in certain communities, certain districts. So it's a great way to get started into a part-time opportunity and then manage your behind the scenes lifestyle to make sure that it's a good fit. And then, of course, like Ryan mentioned, move on to the next full opportunity and grow into something better. So, and that's a great way for those who are looking to something with that, full-time commitment, a great way to start there. So thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, and it always goes back to the fact that not only are we looking to be somebody that's a good fit for this role, but we want to be a good fit for you guys as well. So really thinking the reality of it, being in front of the computer, anywhere from 5 to 8 hours a day, taking back-to-back phone calls, and adjusting to limited distractions. It's actually been quite amazing as we've transitioned to being able to work from home, and specifically with the Blue Star family is being able to just kind of lift up and kind of transition into a relocated place if needed. So that's what's really unique about this role, and being able to work from home, but also finding that way to find that balance, limit those distractions, because again, you are taking 100 plus calls a day to service these customers, and that type of experience that we're really trying to focus on enhancing that relationship through each interaction. So great work, Michelle and Ryan. A lot of great information about these two positions that we do a lot of hiring for. With this last slide here, I just wanted to touch briefly on some of the benefits. As Ryan mentioned, the part-time role, once you become a full-time employee, you would then be eligible for these types of benefits. So, our culture really is designed so that we want you to, connect and utilize these benefits, whether it's tuition reimbursement opportunities, paid time off, your medical, dental, vision, 401k. Discover does do a match there. And going back to education, who wouldn't want free school, right? So we're talking up to 90% for reimbursement, Discover College Commitment, which is a fully paid bachelor degree through 3 different colleges across the nation online. And we offer about 8 to 9 different degree programs that you can take advantage of. And again, that work-life balance, doing it online. And then also finding time to stay balanced and taking time off. So you'll accrue 4 to 6 weeks of paid time off per year. So benefits start day 1 as a full-time employee. So again, another great opportunity to with working for Discover. And then just at the very bottom here, we've been recognized for multiple awards, Great Place to Work, equal opportunities, and different recognition at the bottom. So all of that is located on our website, along with the benefits page. There's details that you can start reviewing and deciding, what benefit package works for you and your family. You can start looking into the education assistance planning now if you're a part-time employee, so that when you do become full-time, you can take advantage of these benefits. And then outside of the benefits, we have lots of great opportunities to stay involved. And Leanna, I'd like to go ahead and give you the floor to talk about some of the ERGs, unless there was any other questions or comments from TA or anyone else at this point.
I just wanted to just highlight what an amazing package of benefits you guys have. I mean, you have me sold already. So I'm over to you, Emily. Emily, tell me in right there, because education assistance is one that it's really a big buy-in for our military spouse community, because a lot of us spend a lot of investment in education as we continue to transition to multiple relocations, and sometimes it doesn't lead to. But if you have an employer who's able to fulfill that, that's such a great incentive, as well as the savings plan, because again, some of us with so many gaps, or perhaps just multiple gaps, it's often really hard to keep up that 401k or the retirement consistency, and many of us play catch up towards the end of our military lifestyle. Like I know I did with my husband. We play catch up, and it's like, nope, I have to work now full-time solid for a few years extra so that I can catch up and have a good retirement plan. So thank you. This is such a great incentive. Liana, tell us.
Yeah, so I really appreciate the opportunity to partner with Blue Star Families. And, Emily mentioned earlier that she's done some activities with us, and that really lends itself to the other side of life at Discover. You heard Matt and I talk about it. Ryan's mentioned it. Leanne's mentioned it. We've been here for a really long time, and you can take phone calls for anyone, and you can take phone calls for any company, and you can provide customer service in lots of different ways. But it's rare that you find the opportunity to work for a company that provides service, but also focuses on what's life outside of just taking care of the customer, and how is life supported as an employee. And one of the ways that we do that is through what we call employee resource groups. And the employee resource group that is near and dear to my heart is HMV, which stands for Honoring Military and Veterans. And that's how Emily and I met in the first place. And Honoring Military and Veterans is focused on creating community awareness at Discover for either former veterans, former military members, current military members, spouses of and children of military members, and just to give them a community that understands this is what you're going through. I know where you've been. I know what you're going through, and just to have that camaraderie outside of just the work that you do every single day. And that's also, one of the things that makes it valuable and beneficial to come to work. It's not that I'm getting paid to be part of this group, but I love being part of this group because it just fulfills something else for me in my daily work.
That is great. And I don't know if Emily wants to say anything about that, but that's such a great, it speaks really highly of what you guys have as an employee in your corporation, and behind the scenes, what your focus is for our community and your involvement. Emily?
Yeah, it's been really great partnering with Discover for several different events, especially when we're able to get out and do some work in the community. Like last Christmas, we did meals for our veteran community right before the Christmas holiday, and even though it was freezing cold, there was a great crew from Discover that came out to volunteer, and we all froze together. But it was still a really fun time, and being able to serve those veterans. We had a couple that really, it was super meaningful to them to be able to come out and get the meals, and veteran spouses kind of teary-eyed in the drive-through line. So that's kind of when you really see the impact that you can make in the community. So we're just really glad that Discover has kind of been on this journey with us here in Utah as we're trying to build up the chapter here. So we really can't thank the HMV group enough. We just hope that we can continue to work on more great events in the future.
Absolutely, and this is such a great, and this is a great way for us to continue on to foster that, that collaboration, and the fact that we're able to support military spouses and veterans too, and military service members who want to perhaps maybe get out there into employment search, but most importantly, our military spouse community in the areas of Utah and Arizona. And if you and any other location, of course, but this is particularly targeted for Utah because you want to really emphasize the ability for you to be able to engage into meaningful career resources and opportunities in your local area. And if you guys don't mind, I do have a few questions from our audience that I would like to be able to put on here for you guys. You can answer it. So one of the questions I was asked was, if, for instance, if I'm stationed in Utah and I start, is there an opportunity for portability? Meaning, can I relocate? What is the process to relocate to another location, to another job within the company?
I just want to make sure I understand the question correctly. So is the position portable to be able to like start in one area and move to another? Is that correct?
If I start in Utah and we're there stationed for a couple of years, 3 years or so, and then we suddenly get orders to relocate to another community that you guys have opportunities, what is that transferability or portability looks like?
Yeah, right now everything is remote and we ship the equipment to you. So as long as your address, we have everything correct, you should be able to just you may have to do it yourself. Some of it may be bigger equipment, but you should be able to, as long as that communication's there. And I know within the company itself, different positions as you grow allow different things as well. So
great. And that was another one of my questions was, is there equipment or is there certain guidelines for customer service roles that are more remote? That certain companies, provide you with the equipment, but I think you just answer it. So you provide the equipment, the training for those who are joining your team. Right.
Yeah, and I'd kind of like to chime in too. We're going to send out the equipment, which includes 2 computer screens. You're receiving a keyboard, a mouse, a headset, a small box, which is called a thin client. All of the equipment is required to be connected to a modem or a router, and then it's pretty simple setup that you would be able to easily connect and disconnect as needed. And it comes to the time off, if there's orders in place that you guys are relocating, that would be the communication that you'll want to have with your leadership at that time to ensure that you have the proper time to relocate and set up. And when it comes to training, we are going to put you through anywhere from 3 to 12 weeks of training. It's a virtual, remote, online learning environment. There's activities in place so that we are making sure that you are gaining the knowledge to be successful. So we're definitely going to set you up. And I think that is really what makes it unique today, and working with Blue Star families, giving you that ability to, uproot at any point and be able to navigate anywhere within the nation and stay employed. We get that. And that's part of our, the excitement of this partnership is allowing military families to stay employed with an organization that offers growth, benefits, and, community involvement. So for that, the process to relocate, absolutely. The purpose of this and working from home is to make it easy for you to stay employed and be able to just pick up right where you left off when it comes to your relocation.
That's great. Thank you so much for that. This is incredible. It's really great. Now, I do have another question. Someone asked me, what is the interview process like, or how are you guys? What is the process, or what are you using right now for interviewing? Is it on site? Is it virtually? And or what? If you can just give us just an overall picture of what does this look like, because that seems to be the most intimidating aspect of a job seeker, the interview process, and especially on video, if it is in fact through video, what does this look like?
Yeah. I know I kind of touched on this earlier, so I'll just chime in here. It's different than I think what we're used to when we think about working and dressing up and going into a place and getting a tour of a facility and being able to connect with that face-to-face interaction. And one thing that the pandemic has taught us is different ways of working. So yeah, you submit your application. And then at that point, us as recruiters begin reviewing and evaluating and kind of looking through resumes. Hence the reason Michelle mentioned your most recent updated resume will be helpful to us in reviewing. And then you'd receive a phone call. And we try to talk with you for about 25 minutes or so on that first interaction. Otherwise, if we need to schedule it, we can. But usually it's a casual conversation talking about the logistics around training, the availability, the start date, pay, position, details of the position, and then just a few short interview questions to get to know you a bit more. From there, we'll be able to determine whether or not we move forward with your application. And at that point, we would schedule a face-to-face interview. And by face-to-face, I mean virtual, which would be a WebEx that we send out to you. And we ask, and we work with you guys to try to figure out a time frame of up to 90 minutes that we can really engage now with a more thorough interview process, which would be through a WebEx and similar to this, where we get to see you, interact, and go over, revisit everything we talked about in the first interview, and then be able to transition into additional interview questions, along with a couple activities that really allow you to gain insight of what to expect in this role. So we actually play a phone call for you. We also do an activity around our disclosures so that you can really see it, touch it, feel it, and really gain a clear understanding of what to expect in this role. From that point on, we then make some decisions, and sometimes you might even receive an offer on the spot. Other times we might have other interviews lined up and we need to reevaluate and kind of identify or touch base with our colleagues to make interviewing decisions. But ultimately, it's a fast process. I've seen people get literally hired the same day that they've had the first conversation with us, and other days it could be a week. We're reviewing and evaluating hundreds, if not thousands, of applicants such as yours. So it is a process, but we've also gone through a lot of different ways of thinking and reducing our interview process. So you're looking at something that could literally be a day up to maybe a week, if not two. And then at that point, if you're offered a position, we kick you off with onboarding and background and fingerprinting, which is a easy process as well. We do not require you to come into the facility. There's a lot of different fingerprinting facilities nearby all areas, and our coordinator will then kind of help facilitate what that looks like and get you all cleared. And then the next part is just waiting to training, and your coordinator will be connected with you and in contact all the way up until the week prior to you starting to make sure you have everything that you need to be successful in this role. Hopefully that wasn't too much, but give you a more insight of what to expect.
No, absolutely. That was great. That was a very clear picture, the timeline and everything. This is really great, because that's what we want. We want our community to be able to be really educated and to really understand those processes and the expectations when it comes to prepping for an interview, for an application, so that they can be successful in their search for job opportunities. Now, I do have another question too, also for the part-time roles that are currently available. What is the max hours? And you might have said it, but I don't think we catch it. What is the max hours that you work a week? And is there a set schedule?
Yeah, so I can talk to the customer service specifically for the Discover credit card customers, and then I can defer to Michelle for the part-time positions within the bank. So for the customer service part-time positions, the employees are scheduled 29 hours per week. So it is a range, technically 20 to 29 hours. However, the reality is that it's always the 29 hours. So they're scheduled 29 hours per week. As far as the schedule, yes, so they would have a assigned schedule. There's a website that our employees are able to use in order to manage all things related to their schedule. And their schedule is created 4 weeks in advance, so they can see at all times a full month ahead of time exactly what their schedule is. And as far as it being a set schedule, yes, it would be a set schedule, and they're able to review that themselves up to a month in advance.
Great,
Yeah.
thank you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to add to that is that's one of the things that I love about Discover as well, is that in advance so you can plan for things. And so with the bank, as of right now, we more have the full-time positions, which are going to be 40 hours a week. With our student loans positions, those are going to start out flex time. And I did not mention this before, so I apologize. But while your flex time, which is 30 to 39 hours each week, we will not offer benefits until you were to go full time. So for that summer season, you may not have all of the benefits through us, and then it will get bumped up to that on day one of the full-time employment. And as we do hire for part-time positions, that's what's nice is on our careers page, it's always specifying that. And so any other questions, let us know.
Great. This is great. I mean, the fact that you mentioned, Michelle and Ryan, the fact that you have that predictability, at least you have that consistency ahead of time. So in our, sometimes different lifestyles within the military, different requirements, for sure how to plan ahead, and exactly what your commitment is for the next 3 days. And then from there, plan ahead, and that creates a good flow of your stability. So I love that, because that's really great. That's what we always looking for, stability.
And we always, I was just going to say, we also too, when we have that first conversation with you, we go through the logistics. It is a lot of information, but we do make sure exactly what type of schedule you're getting into. It may be a longer conversation, but we want to make sure, some of us have mentioned, we're the right fit for you. So.
Absolutely. And that's why we're doing this, so that our community understands ahead of time. And then they can, of course, be able to follow up with additional questions, which, by the way, I encourage you, if you're watching this, to please post your questions. We will continue to come back and recap and answer those questions for you. And if we don't have the answer here at Blue Star Careers or with Emily, our chapter director, then we can definitely be able to follow up with the Discover team and send them over their way so that they can provide those questions. But the most important is what I would say. Here's me, and please correct me, Discover team, if I'm wrong, and you have any additional tips. Go online, search the portal, look for the opportunities near you, create a profile, and start getting those alerts so that you know what's opening, what's available in your area. And if there's nothing opening in your area, then at least soon enough you will find first thing what's available. But also reach out to us and let us know where you are looking to work, so that we can send that referral for you, and we can help you get that visibility of your resume, of your profile closer to their team, so you're not navigating the whole job search on your own. And that's why we do these webinars and we do these opportunities for you, so that you are never alone in the job search options, completely on your own. But we're here for you so that we can send those referrals. So, and with that, I'm going to try to wrap it up, but send it back one more time around if any of you guys have any additional tips that you can share. And then Emily, if you want to do any closing tips or remarks or any acknowledgements for your community. So send it back I'll start with Michelle.
Yeah, my last tip, I could give you many, but one of them is going to be during the interview process, still be professional, but really just be authentic to you. We're going to be authentic and show you our personalities, tell you our stories, our struggles, but also our accomplishments. So definitely do that for you to us, and we're excited to meet with you.
Yeah, and as far as tips go, I know we've actually kind of touched on this already, but we do review sometimes thousands of applications every month, for each position. And so when you are applying, one of the things that you can do that's really going to help your chances of being reviewed is make sure that you do include your work history, or attaching your resume to the application. So, as we're reviewing those applications, it's very easy for us to see, what experience you do have. Also, if you're interested in the position, of course, you're welcome to apply for any of the positions, and we'll reach out. But also, all of us are, very active on LinkedIn. So if you have any specific questions that you think of, feel free to reach out to us, send us a message, and, connect on LinkedIn as well. It's totally fine.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't really have many more tips. I feel like we've shared a lot today, and it's been great being, having this opportunity to share all of this information. And as Michelle said, there's so much more. And our conversations during the interview process is really engaging, and we'll use that opportunity to get to know you more and be able to answer any questions that you have or may even come up with today. The other part, like Ryan said, attach your resumes. That's super helpful. And maybe even put, in the referral, maybe refer to the Blue Star families, as that'll help you stand out a little bit more as well as our connection with the team here. But other than that, I wish you everyone the best of luck, and hopefully get to cross paths with a lot of you. Thank you.
And Liana, month of the military child, again, I want to congratulate you on that, and thank you for your service as you have watched, active duty from behind the scenes. So thank you so much for your support and for your involvement in our community. Any last words that you would like to say or tips?
I would say, don't be scared, and don't consider this a one single career. Every one of us has moved through the organization. I've held 18 different positions within the company in 21 years. So every time I have a new job, I feel like I start with a new job, but you're not starting with a new company. And that's so refreshing. And if the word resume scares you because you've never built one before, it's okay. There's lots of resources on the jobs portal. So if you're like, oh, I don't have a resume, I can't apply because you've heard that word a lot today, that's okay. Go online, use the tools, build a resume. It's easier than you think if you haven't ever done it before. I know that's something that scared me when I first got started working in more of a professional career outside of McDonald's. And so don't be scared. There's lots of opportunity, and everybody at Discover is looking to fit the right job to the right person. And that's all we're here for, is to make sure that you're happy and that you have a good start and that you find a home at Discover.
Great, thank you for that. And yes, and to our community, by the way, we have at our Spouse Force community Q&A on Fridays. So if you have questions, additional questions, you want to talk over a little bit more one-on-one, make sure that you come into our community, tag us, tag me, and let us know what questions you have, and we'll converse one-on-one and help you review your resume as you prepare for applying, and then give you any tips and tricks that we have already knowledge and be aware based on the research that we have done on Discover, and plus all of these great tips that they're sharing with you today. So don't do this alone. That's what we're here for, to support you in this great journey. And then Emily, what can we say? Anything else to wrap up this great webinar and session for Blue Star?
Yeah, we just really want to thank our partners at Discover and everybody on this call today for their time, and just let spouses know that this is such a rare opportunity when you find a company that is willing to put forth the effort in supporting military spouse hiring and offering remote careers that are portable. It's really a unique opportunity for military spouses. So I'm hoping that, and we've definitely seen since the onset of the pandemic, just a huge uptick in the military community, just around remote work and what's out there, what's available, what's reliable and vetted. And I don't think it gets any more reliable and vetted than Discover. So we're really excited that they're offering these opportunities, and we hope that everybody gets into the portal and sees what's available and just apply. Especially, even if you've had gaps on your resume, I think that's one of the biggest issues that spouses will bring up, is that they've had gaps or they're just new to the workforce in general. So just apply. Don't be scared to apply and get in there and get some experience, at least with doing that process and taking some interviews. So we hope that everybody gets in there and does that, and then spreads the word to other military spouses that they know that may be in a similar situation, looking to find some great remote work opportunities. So
Absolutely.
thank you so much,
Thank you.
Discover, again, for being here.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you everyone for being here and for supporting our communities, our military communities, military spouse, military community, and of course, most importantly, for those of you who are in Utah, thank you so much for your, ongoing collaboration. We really appreciate you. And for those of you who are career-minded military spouses, again, you're not alone. We are going to post all of the immediate hiring opportunities, the dates, the deadlines, and all of the stuff at our Spouse Force virtual community. And so, of course, the link is right above. So make sure that you follow. And then, of course, like Emily said, share, tag those military spouse friends and community partners that you have out in the community. Don't keep all the, the wealth of knowledge to yourself. Tag and share. The more you share, the more we can grow together. So thank you so much for watching, and let us know again any future questions you have as you watch the replay. Please continue to post your comments, and we'll make sure that those get addressed and answered for you. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you, everyone.